Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS rule as well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Anah. I titled this video Ezekiel chapter 38. And basically, I'm going to just go into the chapter and get some precepts on it. You know, these are the times that we're living in, the last days, the end days, and the end of Esau's rule, his reign over the planet Earth, right? The scriptures say Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of that followeth. Then that righteous kingdom is about to be established because we have but a few prophecies left. You know, that being Jacob's trouble, the MOTB, and of course the destruction of Babylon the Great and land of Israel and any other parts where the nuclear missiles may hit. So these things are going to be moving pretty fast once they start to come. You know, the implementation, you know, basically the mark coming, Jacob's trouble, you know, the period of testings and then the nuclear destruction, which we will have to be delivered from because the land of, you know, Babylon will be completely destroyed, and that's where we are currently, you know. So we will need to be delivered up out of Babylon the Great by our Lord Yahweh Shai. So those are the times we're living in, right? And basically, this World War III prophecy is a major prophecy. You know, we're just gonna go into it. So I got pulled up here, and it's major because it's basically it's the last prophecy, right before the deliverance. So I got put up here a map, and this is all the things that are mentioned in Ezekiel chapter 38. I hope I said 38 earlier. Anyway, so these are all the names mentioned in Ezekiel. Well, not all the names, but these are some of the names mentioned in Ezekiel 38. You got Magog, Meshach, and Tubal, Togomar here, Gomer, Put, Libya, Ethiopia, right? Persia, which is Iran. So you got Persia, which is Iran. You got Gog and Magog, which is Russia. Meshach and Tubal is Turkey and Armenia. Togomar is Turkey. Of course, you got the African nations, Kush, Ethiopia, Libya, right? And these are all the people that's going to be joined unto Russia, which is Gog and Magog, to send nuclear missiles towards the land of Israel, and which is right here, as you can see. And all these people are surrounding Israel. And that's why they got something called, you know, which we'll get into. They got something called the Iron Dome, right? Because they need great protection, which they have that protection. And what they have in that Iron Dome is sent from Babylon the Great. You know, we basically know that Israel and Babylon the Great, which is USA, are one of the same. Like they're basically allies. They're together, right? Pursuant to scriptures. So these different nations are going to be joined with Russia spearheading them to shoot missiles at Israel, and then ultimately also over to the west to Babylon the Great. You know, which is the final prophecy before you know, the redeeming of the Lord's elect. You know, pursuant to Matthew 24 and 30, when Yahushua comes with his chariots. And he's also going to be shooting different laser beams at different people whenever he comes, right? So I think that's good on explaining the map. We'll just get the scriptures now. It's Ezekiel 38 and 1. It says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, which is Russia, and the land of Russia." It says the chief prince, which when you get this word chief prince, we'll get it really quick. It says, I think it's two words, but let me see. Okay, the chief. We'll get the chief. It says, there you go.
Strong's H 7218. Ramath Negev. Ramath Negev. Second entry. Rosh. Rosh.
Rosh, right? So it says head, chief, head, top, upper part, chief, right? So basically, Russia is the chief of these other nations against Babylon the Great. Ezekiel 38 and 2, it says, "Son of man, Set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, which I said is Turkey and Armenia, right? And prophesy against him, and say, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashmi Shai, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. So something to remember is that the Most High is only dealing with the Israelites. He's against all these other different nations because, pursuant to different scriptures, but we know that in, what is it, Psalms 83, that these different nations are enemies to the Israelites, and they have came together to cut us off with crafty counsel, which we'll get into also, because that's why you got these fake JOOs over in the land of Israel too, which they became a state in 1948, and that was all a part of their crafty counsel. So the Most High is against these different people, these different nations, all these different nations. It says Ezekiel 38:3, and say, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashmi Shai, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. So coming from the great fall of Russia, because they was once, named the Soviet Union, and through different wars and things like that, the Soviet Union collapsed. And, they pretty much have been docile up until now, when we're here at these last days, when things are heating up. We can see that evil thought coming to the mind of the Russian president, and them just showing their hand, basically the weak saying I'm strong. All of those things are coming to pass. It says, Ezekiel 38:4, it says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shield, all of them handling swords. It says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them all shield and helmet, which went into Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. It says all of them with shield and helmet. It says Gomer, which is Germany, and all his bands, the house of Togomar, Turkey, of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. It says, be thou prepared, and prepare thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. It says, after many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Now, breaking this down, it says, after many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword. So basically, they will be at a period of war, and then, they're going to be basically chilling. And as we can see now that right now, Israel's at war with Palestine and these different Iran, Yemen, and all these different things that are happening. And once again, we have these different prophecies that needs to come place. So you think about when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. So it's going to come a time where they're just chilling, and it says, and it's gathered out of many people. And I have that here pulled up, Luke 21:24. This is Luke 21:24. It says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And that's talking about us, the Israelites. We fell by the sword, and we were led away in captives into all nations. It says, in Jerusalem, our land shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, the heathens, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So basically, a period of time when our land will be trodden down of the Gentiles, meaning the Gentiles will be up in there, just doing whatever they're doing, practicing wickedness and all these different things like they're doing now, right over there in our land. That's why it says, and it is gathered out of many people against them. So, and then it says against the mountains of Israel. So basically, Russia and all their bands are going to come against the people that are currently in Israel, the leadership. It says, which have been always waste, because they have always been at war, going back to 1948 when it was first established to be a state. Like I said, they went to war immediately following after that, and they've been in many wars ever since then. That's why it says, which have always been waste. But it says, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. And what does that mean? Because you're coming from something that's always waste, but it's brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. And that's because of who? Their big brother, USA, Babylon the Great, protecting them, sending them aid, sending them money, and of course, like I stated before, that Iron Dome, which in recent news, current events and things like that, we have seen that what Iran sent missiles, and they used that Iron Dome to defend themselves. And it was stated that some of the missiles basically made it through. I think they said like 3 missiles made it through, but also in the news articles when that had happened, Iran, the missiles that they sent over there, they said they basically got the basic missiles that they had, not the ICBMs, not nothing too advanced. They just got basic missiles, and they sent a barrage of missiles towards the land of Israel, and some of them made it through. And that Iron Dome is supposed to be their great safety. So as we can see, once again, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of the follow-up. The scriptures say the end is manifest, right? So these people have to be brought down, right? So they can't dwell safely for much longer, basically, because we're at the end. So I'll read it again. Ezekiel 38:8, it says, after many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Now, let me get this in the NLT. It says, a long time from now, you will be called into action. In the distant future, you will swoop down on the land of Israel, which will be enjoying peace after recovering from war, and after its people have returned from many lands to the mountains of Israel. Now, it's not talking about us, it's talking about the people that are currently there. And like I said, going into that crafty council, let me get that. Psalms 83, that Psalms 83:1. It says, keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, be not still, O power. Excuse me. It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from the nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. And one big way they did that was to fill our land with themselves and different people. Fill that land with themselves and different people. Let me see if this is it. Yeah, so I mean, I'll just get this. So basically, to fill our land with different people in themselves and say that they are the people. Let me see what it says. It says, this is an article. I just pulled it up. You seen me do that. It says, whether you're taking the first steps toward immigration or you're simply curious about the possibility, the Jewish Agency for Israel is here to provide guidance in the process of coming home. It says in 2018 alone, we helped more than 30,000 Jews start new lives in Israel with crucial information and support system for the time before, during, and after making Aliyah. Now, this is what I wanted to search up. It says each year, tens of thousands of Jews from around the world decide to make Israel the setting of their life stories, and we are there for every single one. So basically, all right, so let me get this. Let me just do 1 and 2. Let me see. I should have pulled the article up, to be honest. It was an article. All right, so this is Aliyah. It says history of Jewish immigration to Israel. Let's read this right here. No, we read this one. It says first Aliyah took place prior to political Zionism in the late 1800s. Most of these new immigrants came from Russia and Yemen and set up towns including Petah, Tikva, Rishon. It says the second Aliyah prior to World War I was almost exclusively made up of Russian Jews following programs and anti Semitism in their country. It says after World War One and until 1923, the third Aliyah came to Israel. It says this group was also from Russia, but they arrived after the establishment of the British mandate over Palestine. Right, so basically, these different Aliyahs were immigration movements where people came into the land and considered themselves Jews or called themselves Jews, which you know, we talk about. I don't. I said Jews. I hope they don't get too mad about that. So once again, that's a part of that crafty council to, go into the land and call themselves, JOOs, so we won't think about it. But, the Most High woke us up. So anyway, yeah, Ezekiel 38 and 9, it says, Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. Right? So Russia and all those people mentioned, the different allies of Russia that's now joining themselves to Russia. It says, Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. Right? And even these many people, let's get because we understand that America's own allies will join unto Russia, and shoot missiles at this place. And we got the map here because a lot of these people are so-called a part of NATO EU. And I say so-called because I mean they are a part of it, but they're gonna basically leave it and shoot, missiles because they're gonna become enemies. I'll start here, Revelation 17 and 12. It says, And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. It says, These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and Kings of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And this is talking about the Israelites. Right here it says, And he said unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. It says, And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Right, so the 10 horns that's joined unto the beast, which is these EU NATO nations, are going to hate the whore, which is Babylon the Great, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Right, and of course also the land of Israel, because these different horns that hates Babylon the Great are going to be joined to Russia, and Russia is going to come against the land of Israel, and ultimately again also against the land of Babylon. It says, And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For Yahweh hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth, right? And that's Babylon the Great. So going back to Ezekiel 38 and 9, it says, Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. It says, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. So when you think about this evil thought, like I said in recent news, Iran launched missiles over there to Israel. And, some of those missiles was able to penetrate the Iron Dome, which we can look that up really quick. Sorry. It says Iron Dome is an Israeli mobile all-weather air defense system. So it's a mobile system that they move around, to defend against different attacks. It says the system is designed to intercept and destroy short-range rockets and artillery shells, excuse me, fired from distances of 4 to 70 kilometers or that many miles away. Right, even right here it says from 2011 2021, the United States contributed a total of 1.6 billion to the Iron Dome defense system, with another 1 billion approved by the Congress in 2022. So basically, the Iron Dome is a defense system, a mobile defense system that they're able to move around to counter attacks. And it was supposedly very strong, but in recent events, current events, we see that it's not that strong and it can be penetrated. And so Ezekiel 38:10, it says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought." And a part of that evil thought is the fact that Iran sent missiles over, and it wasn't the best missiles they had, and it was able to penetrate, from just that one country shooting the missiles at it, right? That one country, Iran, shot missiles from over here and hit it. So, now Russia, with their advanced, capabilities of missiles and all these other nations, Russia has that evil thought to say, well, I can. They're unwalled, right? Because that dome, that Iron Dome system isn't as strong as they thought it was, right? And uh, Russia has witnessed that in current events in these last days. That's happening now. All right, I'm back. This is Ezekiel 38:11. It says, "And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates." Right, and as I explained, that evil thought that Russia has, they can clearly see that, the land of Israel can be touched. And, once again, Russia has, more advanced missile capabilities, than what Iran used to send over there towards Israel, right? So, and this is also talking about the land of Babylon, because we know that Russia will also, shoot missiles over here at Babylon the Great, which we'll get into. And you can even search really quickly if it pops up. Uh, let's do behind. All right, we'll just read this from some AI. It says some say the U.S. missile defense system is limited in scope and behind in its ability to defend against a large attack from a sophisticated adversary. And there's been articles and things that have come out, stating that USA is behind in their defense capabilities. Right? They spent more on attack because they're the golden cup in the Lord's hand. They hammered the whole earth. So basically they just been a bully to the world. No one ever thought to come to attack Babylon the Great. So I guess they didn't invest in defense systems, and that's the pride of their heart deceiving them. Also, it says Ezekiel 30:12, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods in that dwell in the midst of the land. All right, once again, this is talking about the land of Israel. It says Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of uh, Tarish, will all the young lions thereof shall say unto thee. And we got the map pulled up here. So you got Sheba, Dedan, and then the merchants of Tarish, which is Spain over here. It says, Sheba, Dedan, and the merchants of Tarish, will all the young lions thereof shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? So these different nations is saying, you coming against the land of Israel to do all these things. It says, therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, in that day when my people of Israel dwell safely, shalt thou not know it? And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. And this is not talking about the actual Israelites. When it says, in that day when my people of Israel dwell safely, shalt thou not know? It's talking about the inhabitants, the current inhabitants of the land, which is the JOOs. And on top of that, if there is elect members in, the land of Israel, they will be protected, just like all elect members will be protected, right? It says, Ezekiel 30:15, and thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. And thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, right? The latter days, which we are currently in now, the end of days. And I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O Gog, before their eyes. So the Most High is going to use Gog, which is Russia, to come against the land where the Gentiles, are currently at, to destroy it. It says, thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh Basniel Shai, art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by my servants, the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years that I will bring thee against them, right? And there's many prophets that went into this prophecy here and broke it down, right? Which we got some precepts we'll get after we finish this up right here. Ezekiel 38:18, it says, and it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Lord power, that my fury shall come up in my face, for in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel. What's that shaking? The nuclear missiles. Pursuant to Joel 2, the terrible visitation. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai cometh, for it is nigh at hand. It says, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Right. So once again, this will be the final prophecy before the coming of our Lord, Yahushua. This is going to be a great destruction, a nuclear destruction. It says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yet and nothing shall escape them. Right. So this is going into the nuclear missiles, being aimed at the land of Israel and Babylon the Great. It says, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. It says, like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoured the stubble, as a strong people set in a battle array. Right. So once again, this is talking about the day of the Lord, the terrible visitation, which is the nuclear missiles. Because let me get right here. Isaiah 54:16, it says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. Right. So that's what Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai did. He created these people to create these nuclear missiles to destroy, you know, the different parts of the world that he wants, and that being Babylon the Great and the land of Israel, right? And wherever else the nuclear missiles might hit, wherever else Yahushua comes and he, shoots his fire beams from the chariots. So going back over here, Ezekiel 38:19, it says, "For my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, so that the fishes of the sea, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the field, and all creeping things that creep upon the earth, and all the men that are upon the face of the earth, shall shake at my presence. And the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall into the ground. And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him, in overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstones. It says, Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, right? So once again, the Most High is against these people, and when he comes, he's going to destroy all these people. This is why the scripture said he would plead with the nations. Let me get that. Oh, that's Joel 3:2. Right. So all these different, prophets seen this judgment. It says Joel 3:1. It says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat." So Yahweh Bashmiel Shai is doing this. It says, "And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land." Right, and that's what's happening. Right, and that's why they over there fighting the land right now. So, as we can see, the Most High is going to bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the Lord's judgment, and plead with them. And how he's going to plead with them? By destroying them with the nuclear missiles, with war. That's why going back to Revelations, I deleted it. It says, Revelation 17:14, it says, "These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them." So when the Lord comes back, they're going to make war and try to battle against, Yahweh Shai, and they won't prevail. Now, Jeremiah 51:27, it says, Set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Minia, and Ashkenaz, appoint a captain against her, cause the horses to come up as the rough calipers," right? So this will be Turkey, Armenia, and Germany. These right here, Turkey, Armenia, and Germany, right? So this is a precept going into the fact that these different nations and people will hate the whore and side with Russia to come against Babylon the Great. And you get the top right here, it says Babylon judged for sins against Israel, right? So this is a prophecy against Babylon the Great. It says, "Set up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ariat, Minia, and Ashkenaz, appoint a captain against her, cause the horses to come up as the rough calipers." It says, "Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes," right? And this is Russia. The kings of the Medes is Russia. It says the captains thereof, right? The captains thereof. And we just read that Russia will be the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. It says, "And all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion." So basically that's what's happening. It says, "And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord Yahweh Bahashmi Shai shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant." Jeremiah 50:9, it says, "For lo, I will rise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country." and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrows, which is the nuclear missiles, shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Right. So all the missiles that's sent over from Russia and these different other neighboring countries will hit their mark. Jeremiah 49:12. It says, "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished?" Talking about Babylon the Great. "Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste." Right. So Basra is an ancient city in ancient Babylon the Great, but here in this prophecy, we're talking about current Babylon the Great, which is USA. Prophecy against Edom, the so-called white man. It says, "I have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, Gather you together and come against her and rise up to the battle." It says, "For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men." Going back to Revelation 17, these shall hate the horde. It says, "Thy terribleness have deceived thee, in the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. Also Edom shall be a desolation, everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at the plagues thereof." Right? So, Yahweh is going to bring that judgment. I believe that's it. So Lord willing, you will. Let me get this also right here. It says Jeremiah 50:45. It says, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes, that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations." So basically, the least of the flock, that being the land of Israel, which will be destroyed by Russia. Right? They're gonna draw out Babylon the Great. They're gonna make Babylon the Great come over and get destroyed also, basically. Right? So Babylon will most likely send their troops over there to the land of Israel, and then Russia will send nuclear missiles towards Babylon the Great, and that's currently happening right now, right? And that's why I'm going through this, this chapter, because these things are happening here in the world currently. So Lord willing, this has been edified, and you got the understanding. You can drop some comments in the comment section. You got any questions or anything like that? With that, I'll say shalom to those for the leg. Shalom.